Hello guys, welcome back to revision topic for coordinate geometry. So right now we're struggling with the following set of tasks and GCSE problems. Alright, so this one about the graph. The graph alongside shows the amount charged by a plumber according to the time he takes to do a job. Alright, so basically how much the plumber charges according to the time worked. So the first question, what does the value A indicates? So let's have a look at the graph, and here is the point A. So obviously the first coordinate is 0, yes, for number of hours worked. It means if even the plumber, doesn't work at all, he needs to charge a minimum amount, like per call, right? Per call out. So it's around, I may say, $60, let's say, maybe 70. So close to, I think, 60, maybe 60 something. All right, so that's why it represents just the amount of money plumber charges for just call outs without any job. If he will works some amount of time, so he will charge more, of course. So B, find the gradients of the line segment AB and BC. All right, so obviously AB is a straight line. So this part is just a straight line. So in order to determine gradient, what we need to take, so gradient AB. So we need to do just by definition, all right, changing y over changing x. In this case, I can even say that, to be precisely, instead of y, I'll use change in charge over change in hours, right? Because this is x, this is y-axis, and the we actually about the essence, right? Not just absolute x and y. So, okay, in order to define gradient, we need to take point B and define basically the coordinates. So we're not told about B coordinates, so that's why we need to determine it. So roughly, I can say that 3 hours, right? That's for x, and what about y? So roughly, so if it's 250, we have very close, let's say it's 210, okay? So we need to take the change in charges, so 210 minus $60 over change in x means change in time. So 3 minus 0, basically 3. All right, so we'll get 150 over 3. So C units, dollars per hour, that what gradient actually presents here. So it's $50 per hour, all right? That's the gradient, means per every hour worked, he'll charge $50. Okay, so BC now. After a certain amount, like after 3 hours, you see the gradient slightly changes, means the charge should be less than 50, okay? So let's calculate the gradient. In order to calculate, we need to know C coordinates, okay? So for hours, it's going to be 5. That's x-axis and x coordinates, and for amount of dollars. So it looks like it's $290, all right? So let's try to do that. So gradient for the line BC. So I'll have the difference 290 minus 210 in dollars and divide it from 3 to 5 for 2 hours. Okay, so for 2 hours, how many I'll get? Like 50 over 2. Oh, sorry, 80 over 2 is about $40, and indeed this charge per hour is less. So it's logically after a certain amount of hours, after being working for 3 hours, for next each hour, he needs to charge less. That's fair. That's how loyalty for clients actually works. So what do the gradients indicate? So one more time, we mentioned it's amount of dollars worked per each actively worked hour. Okay, so if straight line segment was drawn from A to C, what would be its gradient? So basically they're saying, instead of like two different lines, AB and BC, two different segments, what if we just connect A and C and we've got another segment? Okay, so let's say we connect A and C points. So it looks like something like this. All right, so what's the gradient for this segment? Okay, just work it out using the same approach. So gradient of the segment AC is change in y coordinates. So between 2 points C and A, 290 and 60, we'll get the difference and over 5 hours. Okay, so we'll get $230 per 5 hours. So if we simplify, we'll get 23 times 10, and 10 is 5 times 2. All right, so we'll get just 23 times 2, and we'll get 46 dollars per hour. This sort of average, right? This sort of average. Why we get actually 46 instead? Yes, that's the question. So 20, 46. So actually average. Oh yeah, I know why, because different amount of time. Yes, it's not simply average for 1540. So be careful. If you just average 1540, it means in this case you should have equal amount of hours. However, you see that for AB, he worked 3 hours, and just from 3 to 5, only 2 hours. So that's why you're not eligible to use arithmetic mean. So that's the right figure. All right. So